This is the Cash Considerations podcast with three guys from Pittsburgh, Philly, and Boston talking sports. God help us all. This is the show. Take it away, Dave.
Welcome to the Cash Considerations podcast. Today is February 1st. It's Tuesday. We're recording the show. We're down to two teams in the NFL. It's unbelievable. Another unbelievable football weekend. It's a good thing nothing else happened in the football. We ain't got nothing else to talk about. So that's good. There'll be probably nothing really other than the games to address. I don't know. I mean, there's some weekend news dump. Some guy may be done playing. I don't know. We'll see about that. But we'll get to all that here in a second. With me, the boys are here, as always, to talk about all this stuff. My name is Dave Sharapan. I'm the Sportsbook Consigliere at SportsBK Consig on the Twitter. And, the boys right here, as always, up in New England area, up there in Wayne Manor, we call it. He's our Batman. He does everything. He's got all the tools, the coordinating producer of the show, social media manager of the show. The email guy, which you can email at the show, is cashconsidshow@gmail.com. And obviously the co-host of the show, Carl Hascall at Carl Hascall, Hascall. CH, are you retired?
How are you? How you doing? Hey, I can't hear you that well. Hold on. 1 second. Walker, cut it out. Oh, sorry. I'm using the CBS studio here for the show, and I got Walker Hayes blasting behind me. I'm sorry. I couldn't really hear you, but how are you? How you doing?
I can't breathe. Oh, he's excellent. Nice work. You guys are doing good work with this producing the show. This is really good. You got me again. Glad to have you. I'm sure we'll address your boy retiring. I got a question for you when we get to that part of the segment. Who's not retired? Thank goodness, holding it all together. Not in the suit this week. He was looking good last week. For those of you that missed it, go back and watch it on the YouTube. He was styling, profiling, getting ready to go do a game, but he's always styling, profiling, this time with the backwards hat, sweatshirt. Drinking a brew today. We'll get to know what he's actually got. Dan Alexander, we call him Newbie. He's at Newbie Talks on the Twitter. He's the executive producer of the show, along with Natasha, our assistant, and as well as the co-host of the show, obviously. The lifeblood of the whole thing, the glue guy to this whole thing, because there's no chance in hell that me and Carl could even get this damn thing started if we had to do it without him. Newbie, what's up, brother? How you feeling? What's going on?
I mean, it's bittersweet because it's cash considerations time. So, I'm happy, I'm pumped, but a underwhelming amount of football on the rundown this week because it's getting to be that time of year. That's why I go back, listen to the Take 'Em In. I gave you all the show suggestions, waiting for yours as well. CH gave me some great ones, but we're entering that part of the year. So I'm clinging on to the football that we have left, Dave, but I'm happy to be here with you guys. The Sixers doing their job, keeping me happy sports-wise for sure.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we ain't got to worry about that. Those boys been doing their thing. So we'll get to that in the NBA segment. Pretty much what we're going to do today is we'll get to the games and review the games, but, obviously we're going to swing it around the sports. A lot to talk about, a lot to see, a lot of happening over the course of the past. I don't know. I mean, we're doing a show once a week. And again, we could do the show every day. We don't because we can only get together a certain amount of times right now. But, there's all kind of sports. So we're going to go around, swing it around, get back to the Carl's Corner. We always go there. We're probably not going to mention the Kool-Aid guy, but I don't know. We might mention Cub Scouts, things like that. I don't know. Peace out, Cub Scouts. Okay. And then we'll do Take a Minute. We'll get out of here. So that's the show. This is the show. Cash Consid Show. Again, at Cash Consid Show on the Twitter. Cash Considerations Podcast on the YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. Boys, we're almost at the 700 mark. We're going the right way. A lot of listens this past week, too. A lot of people wanted to know what we thought. It did okay. We did okay. It was a fun weekend. All right, first on the list, Major League Baseball. That's it. Major League Baseball session over. Nothing really to talk about. I mean, they ain't talking. Why are we going to talk about it? They won't even sit down at the damn table for more than an hour. You think I'm going to give more than a second? Done. Next. Move on. NBA. Man, there's a team. Oh, my goodness. There's a team. They are so hot right now. They're only half game out of the first place seed in the Eastern Conference.
Who could you be talking about, though?
Help me out, newbie.
I don't know. I mean, I look at your hat for the YouTube viewers, and I can't even think of who we're talking about. So if I think hard enough, I don't know if it's echoing for you, Carl, but I'm hearing something in the earphones. Oh, yeah. Maxie scores again. Is that a steal from Thibault? Is that a dunk from Embiid? Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. That felt amazing. We're recording here on a Tuesday in the doldrums of the sports calendar. I know you're all excited for the Pro Bowl, but we got to talk about the pros going down in the NBA. I mean, Dave, you saw the game last night. You know that I've been saying since the middle of the playoffs last year, what the hell are we wasting minutes on Mr. Whatever the hell, Halo or whatever the fuck he's playing on his video games, Minecraft, Ben Simmons. Why are we wasting minutes on him when we have the franchise in Tyrese Maxey? Here's the crazy thing that I asked to you guys. What if I told you that the process was all about getting Joel Embiid with Tyrese Maxey? A little prisoner of the moment, but he's already had 5 30-point games. Ben Simmons had 6 in his entire illustrious career. So Maxey already putting up shots, baby.
Maxey ain't afraid to shoot the ball.
No.
He likes to take it to the hole a little bit. He ain't afraid of nothing. He takes it. He'll go to the free throw line. He ain't scared.
Nope.
This is what we need. Speed. Speed is what we need. Like Mickey said in Rocky, which, by the way, we might get to at the end of Carl's Corner. We'll talk about some movies and things like that, because Newbie is not just a foodie critic. He's a movie guy, too. Cook, chef. The only thing you don't do is fold them clothes. I don't fold them either. That's okay. That's all right. Somebody can help me fold the clothes. I got a flip and fold, though. That shit works. Go get a flip and fold. That's not even a paid endorsement. I traveled that thing from Curacao all the way back to Vegas, Pittsburgh. It's been traveling, Phoenix, everywhere. Where's my flip and fold? Because I can't fold the shirts without it. Anyhow.
This is actually a good point to ask the listeners, too. It's a little buried in there. Tweet at us and let us know the one thing you fucking hate to do around the house. We don't have to get into it all right now, but before our show, we were having our little pre-show meeting, and I was just saying, like, folding laundry and doing laundry is the fucking bane of my existence. So let us know at Cash Consid Show, what do you absolutely hate around the house? So
I don't even mind doing it. I just need time to do it. I'm slow. I take my time. That shit got to be tight and crisp. I'm anal about the way it looks. I don't just fold it fast and put it away. Got to be tight. Can't help it.
Guys, this is what happens when football season ends.
This is what happens.
We're talking about folded laundry.
That's a good question, though, CH.
It's a good question, but like, CH, you're back home. How bad was the snow, by the way? Did you get it bad?
Yeah, I got not as bad as some others down further south got. I got about 15 inches. 15 inches. It's the biggest storm, bigger than anything we had last year. I think the year before too. So
we're gonna have Josh or Panda cut that. Just clip Carl saying I got 15 inches. Just put that in the notes. I got 15 inches. We all got silent for 2 seconds. Nobody knew what to say. It's okay. It's okay. Snow, people. No, snow. You listen to the show. You got 15 inches of snow. Okay. Anyhow, CH, admit it. Like, seriously. I mean, this guy retired. We're gonna get to that shit. But like, Sixers team is pretty cool, isn't it? Like, the song is pretty good. It's catching on. I can see you smiling. You like it. I mean, it's fun, is it not? Because that Celtics team, we ain't even wasting no time talking about them.
You know what? I am happy for my buddy Newbie, who has a team to root for, that's so excited about all the time. Every time I see the post go up sometimes I don't get the references with the song when they put up the Twitter videos. I didn't get the what is it, Euphoria one the other night.
Yeah, I don't watch that shit either, but that's a very popular show. And that was, Zendaya was she did her thing in that thing. But
yeah, very happy. The slowly winning me over. Winning me over, especially now that football's over and I might need something else to pay attention to. I think it might be the Sixers.
Dave, and I don't want to, like belabor the point because I know that there's some people who are like, I don't give a flying fuck about the Sixers, but I think alone the infectiousness of like how fun this team is to root for, like CH is a Boston fan through and through. He's never going to flip his fandom. He's never going to, sign off his teams or anything like that. But the fact that he, as a staunch rival of the Sixers, can like sit back and say, it's a pretty damn fun team to watch. I mean, I think that's what's so great about this Sixers team. Now, are they still a piece away? You could argue, yeah, sure, they definitely are. They need to make a move. Are they going to make that move? Who knows? I hope that they do. But regardless, it's one of the funnest teams in sports to just watch. And these dudes love each other. Like Tyrese Maxey would take a bullet for Joel Embiid and vice versa, which I love in sports. That's great. You can tell they're playing together. Doc sometimes loses his mind. I got to worry about Doc and getting that rotation right. He just, he took a technical before the overtime yesterday. It was like, Doc, stop talking. No, you won't stop talking. No, you still tee him up. I never saw a basket or a free throw before the overtime, but the rest were like, enough of your bullshit. You were shooting. That's it. 1 point trailing before the overtime started. What also is something to watch is this MVP race. Okay. It's crazy because you got now Joel Embiid was 40-1 back in the day. He's 2-1. Jokic is 3-1. Giannis is 4-1. Steph, who finally came out of it last night and hit 7 threes in his back, he's also 4-1. CH, can the big guy actually win this thing?
I think if it's going to matter where they land, right? If they finish 1, maybe 2, he's got a shot. I mean, he so far he's the MVP. That's why he's the favorite. But so far he's the MVP. There's no doubt about that.
I mean, they chanted at the games, newbie. You watch the games. They chanted at the games. Everybody's talking about it. I'm talking about it on Sports Grid and Sirius XM 159 every day. I'm trying to get Walsh and Donnie. They're talking about it now. I think it's possible. Is it not?
I mean, I thought it was possible last year too, but the stat heads with the next level analytics are fucking in love with Jokic. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't know if
plus he plays every game though.
He does. That's the problem. And if you look at what he brings to the floor, he does lead his team in points and rebounds and assists. So like, if you're trying to slap the moniker on, MVP, the most valuable player to the team, the Sixers winning big games without Joel Embiid, kind of takes away of, how huge he is, how valuable a piece he is. But I just think by sheer domination, Joel Embiid to Jokic, Embiid, and I try and not be a homer in saying this, but I truly look at him and I think he is the more dominant player, the player where you have to scheme for and try and, adjust what you're doing because he can just do it all. He can shoot. And he can just post you up like crazy. And now that he's finally getting healthy and he's in the shape that, Sixers fans always wanted him to be in, he's playing with what we thought he could be. But again, I think they're going to rob him from the MVP at the end of the year. I have my, 8.5-1 ticket when we talked about it. And then the odds started crashing. I placed mine that night. But I had great CLV on my ticket last year. I think he's going to end up getting screwed again. But, they hate the process, man. That's how it goes. They just hate the process.
See that picture I ran into the CLV can over the weekend, boys, at the park. That wasn't bad, huh? They're like,
so good.
I said, I got to take a picture of me on a CLV can. Just, in case anybody wants to use that picture, feel free to use it. Just, kind of put it out there. It's a pretty good picture. Ain't bad. I was a little pissed that he didn't play against Ja in Memphis. Like they picked a game to rest against Memphis at home, newbie. Like this is what the voters are going to use against them.
Yep.
In the MVP. So that was the thing I took away, but I was very happy they won. It was a hell of a basketball game. Norm and little Nate were at the game. Little Nate, I think, had his sleeve on and everything. Like, I mean, they went to the game and ready to go. It was fun. And I think they're a legitimate shot to win the number 1 seed because this hashtag AnybodyButTheNets, KD out. Kyrie only plays on the road for now. And now this Harden wants out. I mean, CH, you got this original idea, hashtag AnybodyButTheNets. What have you done to this team?
Yeah, you know what? When I look at the standings and I see the giant L4 under their winning streak, it's a beautiful thing. I take some pride in knowing that I had a small part to play in the fact that they've lost 4 in a row. Even that other team out west, they've lost 3 in a row too. That team that shall not be named.
The other L team is the Lakers. And you know, I don't know what you did to his knee, LeBron, but LeBron said, I ain't playing. You guys suck. You don't play no defense. I got to carry the whole team. I got to get a triple double every night for us to have a shot to win. I'm just going to take the rest of the road trip off. My knee hurts. And they can't win a game.
That's too bad.
This would be unbelievable if both the Lakers, well, they can't both miss the playoffs. The Nets will make the playoffs. I mean, like you said in the notes, that the standings are so close. They're this close, you know, to the top than the bottom, but not in the West. The West right now, the Lakers are in a play-in game. And I talked to my buddy Jeff Sherman today down at the Westgate trying to get ready to go do the props on Thursday when he releases them. And he said he's got a ticket on the – and he's a diehard Lakers fan – on the Lakers to miss the playoffs 10-1. And I said, does that mean the play-in? He goes, no, it's after the play-in. That's when it counts. The 8 people. And I was like, dude, you're live. That team stinks. And he kind of giggled and said, yeah, unfortunately, I think you're right. So it's pretty interesting, but that's the NBA portion of the show, boys. That's good stuff. Before we move on, I want to mention the East Coast Sports Investors. It's www.eastcoastsportsinvestors.com. It's the number 1 ranked sports investors in the world page, according to Google. All right. What better time to meet the ECSI family? Super Bowl is here. You can get all the props, the plays, this and that. But Jeff's specialty, Jeff Dawson, our friend of the show, NBA, NHL, but really college basketball. He's in the grind of it right now. He's getting some golf stuff too going. That's really getting really underway. It really happened, I guess, a couple weeks ago. And now, you know, they did the tournament at Torrey Pines, and now they're going up north to Pebble Beach. It's going to be fun with the golf stuff. And then obviously Super Bowl weekend, they're down in Phoenix. That's a great tournament. If people listening down, go to it because it's so much fun. I used to go every year. ECSI. If you still have questions, ask the real Vegas Dave. No, not that guy. Still giving out both sides of games. He said to ask me, Mr. Sharapan. No iron team, just win and profit. See you in the end zone. How about that one for a little change up of the read? So college basketball, we'll keep it quick. We'll keep it moving. CH, you kind of had a really good question. How would you like to frame it for the listeners, and then me and Newbie can kind of attack it, or I'll answer it, and then Newbie can kind of spin off as to what you're even thinking
about the college basketball. My question about my idea here in the notes. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
So I'm looking at the championship odds last night or this morning, and I see the Zags are favored at 6-1, right? Mm-hmm. Which is a pretty high number. I think it's not like they're 2-1, 2.5-1. 6-1 is a pretty high number.
Yep.
And then behind them, you got Purdue, Baylor, and Duke all at 10-1. You got Auburn at 12-1, Kansas 14-1, and Kentucky 15-1. So by my thinking, I can place a 1-unit bet on all 7 of these teams. Mm-hmm. And as long as one of the 7 wins, I'm guaranteed to break even. And if anybody other than Gonzaga wins, I win.
Correct.
Right? Wow. So why wouldn't I do that? Sure, there's a chance that some other team is going to win, obviously. But at this time of year, 2 months out from the championship, why not do that?
This is a great strategy and a great way to look at this stuff.
That's really interesting.
I can tell you this. We used to call it getting a portfolio of futures. Betting college basketball on a nightly basis, you might start drinking pretty quickly if you do it. I mean, it'll drive you crazy. The way these games end, you watch, our boy Stanford Steve and Scott do the bad beats. It's all college basketball. I mean, it's every single night you get beat by this foul, not foul, free throw misses. Drive you crazy. You buy these college futures now at these prices, you lock in a portfolio, and these prices are what they are because nobody knows shit. I mean, the odds makers don't know shit. The bettors don't know shit. It's hard. College basketball is very, very difficult. I think if you were really going to beat it or try to win more, you got to concentrate on one conference, at most two, and really focus on the totals. The sides are tough, but the totals are the lowest. College basketball totals are the lowest limit item you can get on a daily basis in any sports book because they can be beat. Those numbers suck too. Like you can see totals move 10 to 15 points in a day sometimes, and then still miss by 10. So I think it's a great way to look at it. We're going to find out more about college basketball in the next month. Like I used to say in the risk room, like newbie, you're going and doing high school basketball games. Okay. You're like a play-by-play. By the way, how'd the play-by-play thing go last week? Did you like it?
Yeah. So my guy who usually does the play-by-play, he was in COVID protocol. So they threw me to the wolves there. I mean, I did it before. It's a whole different beast. Like, you know what I mean? You got to be on your shit. Like when you're the color commentator, you just kind of get to sit back. You get to be Tony Romo, just saying offhand, like remarks that don't even mean shit, but they're funny. But when you're the play-by-play guy, you got to show up. You got to be locked in. I can't have my pregame beer. I'm just kidding. I don't drink before high school games, but I enjoy doing it, man. Like, and that's the thing. Like, I do it because I love doing it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't do it because, it's insane money or anything like that. I just genuinely enjoy doing it. It's getting to know the coaches, getting to know the ADs, and getting to see like these young guys grow up, like these freshmen who end up balling out by their seniors. They end up going D1. Like, that stuff is cool to me. And while I'm here locally, why not do it? You know what I mean? So I love basketball, the sport. I just am no fucking good at it at all.
Do you watch college basketball in addition to the high school stuff that you're doing? Do you watch much or no?
I start ramping up at this point just because, now there's nights when there isn't really anything else on. So I at least like to be peripherally informed come bracket time. So, maybe at least I have a leg up on some of the earlier rounds. But as far as, like making it appointment viewing, there's nothing that really moves the needle for me, although I just like the sport.
Yeah, it's pretty tough to actually say there's appointment viewing. There used to be. I mean, CH, you're old enough to remember the Big East back in the day. I mean, you were up there in the crucible of it. Like, it was awesome. And I watched a lot of it. And it wasn't just like pit games. It was who was playing that night, whether it was Georgetown, Syracuse, St. John's, and all this stuff. And now it's definitely lost its luster because you don't know who any of the players are. It changes so fast. All these one and dones have changed everything. But are you watching any college basketball yet, CH? Are you going to do any polls when it comes to March Madness? Do you run one of those? And if you do, maybe we should put it out to the people with the show. If you want to do that.
So if you recall, we did the pool last year. The three of us were in the pool, and I believe you had Kendall make your picks, allegedly. I think I might have come in first in that. Did I?
I believe you did.
Baylor. I had Baylor, right?
Bears, baby.
So yes, as long as I finish first in the cash considerations pool, I will continue to run them.
Okay, that's fine. So we're gonna probably run that. We'll keep that. We'll keep the listeners abreast. We're gonna try to maybe do something, a giveaway, some sort of thing for the winner, or maybe we'll do an entry fee. And we'll give a big reward for whomever does it. But we're working on the plans of that right now. I just don't want to divulge too much because I don't know. We didn't do the copyright cash considerations. What year is it, Carl?
2022.
Okay. All right, we'll keep that one in mind for that. All right. NHL pulling a goalie, 2 minutes. It's all you get. Avalanche are that good? Yes. 9-point lead over everybody else. Is the West over? CH, is the West over?
The West is over.
West is over.
At least for the regular season. You get into the tournament, anything can happen, but
correct. And I was just going to add that caveat that the Avalanche have been very good in the regular season the past couple of years. They're minus 650 again today against the Arizona Coyotes. I mean, how much higher can you make a hockey line in a regular season game? It's insane. I've never seen a line like that until the last time they played. And now they're making that number minus 650, minus 700 when the Canadians play them are a really good team. One of these is going to catch. I'm telling you right now, one of these times the Dog's going to win outright. They haven't yet, but they've had to win in a shootout, win in overtime, 4-3, 5-4. Some crazy shit going on. I can't believe anybody would be minus 650 or 700 over anybody in the league. But the other note I wanted to mention is that Vancouver is 15-4 to the under at home. That's according to the crack research of our coordinating producer, social media manager, and email guy, Carl Hascall, Hascall. CH, is that enough to push you to the under? Does that become like an auto play for you when Vancouver's at home in games 5.5?
That's a big percentage, right? It's almost 79%. I mean, that's 4 out of 5 games. Yeah, I'll play that every night.
There's a little actionable info there.
Some actionable info.
You know, that's what everybody wants. They want the actionable info. Go make some fucking action. Get out of here.
I'll give you actionable info if you get to the show tonight before. The New Jersey Devils have had a goal scored in the first period of a hockey game 15 times in a row. 18-1 in their last 19 games, 15 times in a row. People, just go bet. You got to lay the juice. Yesterday was against Maple Leafs, was minus 190. Well, a goal be scored in the first 10 minutes. And then what some of these books are doing, they're shorting you 30 seconds. They're shorting you, making it in the first 9 minutes and 30 seconds. Like, seriously, what are you people doing? The books, you're out of your mind. You don't have the best of it with the juice and everything else. You're going to shorten the 30 seconds thing instead of the first 10 minutes and just make it more confusing like you did for the UFC and for the boxing. Total for the rounds is 2.5. You know how many people came up in 2.5? What does that mean? It means a minute 30 into the third. Why doesn't it say that? Well, it does. It says 2.5, but it should say halfway through the third. So don't do that. 9 minutes and 30 seconds. If you're listening to the show, and I know you people, somebody's listening to the show. I keep following it and seeing listenership go up. Ain't nobody listening, ain't nobody watching, but somebody's listening somewhere. Don't do that. Go back to the 10 minutes. If you went to the 9:30, enough. Seriously, stop the bullshit. Nobody knows shit anyway. All right, we're gonna get to the football. Before we do, I gotta mention this Book It Sports app. If you love the sports bet, listen up. The Book It Sports app is here to help make your sports betting experience a breeze. Whether you're looking to talk, shop, purchase picks, or simply need an app to keep track of all of your action, Book It Sports is the app for you. In sports betting, transparency is key, and with the all-new Book It Sports betting score, you can easily separate the contenders from the pretenders. What are you waiting for? Download Book It Sports today for free in the Google Play and Apple App stores, and prove to your friends why you're the better better. That's courtesy of Nikki, Big D, David, and obviously Trent over at Book It Sports, doing big things this surgical stream. They get on, they get people from all over the world to send them picks. Apparently the boys right here, Cash Considerations, they may need to call the reserves. We've been out warming up in the bullpen and may make a spot start. I know CH got to get his wing loose a little bit. You know, takes a little bit longer. Same with me. I'm still throwing 2 or 3 times a week with the kids. But newbie, he's ready to go. This kid can just, he's got this, he keeps the cleats in the car. And if a football game breaks out anywhere, he's ready to go. Do you have the lax sticks in the car too, or no?
Yeah, well, lacrosse season right around the corner. So I got my, and actually, I'm glad you bring up lax, Dave, because we're talking actionable info. This weekend, college lacrosse starts. NCAA lacrosse is starting. I think we got a live dog. If you have DraftKings, depending on what state that you're on, the lines are offered. I think Utah plus 4.5 against Denver is worth a look. Utah is a program on the rise. Denver graduated some pretty darn good players. They're plus 4.5. And I think this is going to be at least like a 2-goal or closer game. Utah might win it outright. It's even money, plus 4.5. Actionable info. Take Utah this weekend against Denver on the spread. Boom.
God damn. Action
About
Winfrey's
that.
coming out all over. We're moving. We're grooving. We're keeping this thing on the pace and giving out the good shit. I thought nobody knew shit. This sounds like a show where people might know something. This is pretty good. This pace is flying. I like it. Man, oh man, that was good. All right. Well, do we play the music or we say goodbye to Cousin Cooter last week?
CH, what do you think? You're the coordinating producer on Scene. I really want to play Cousin Cooter.
You want to play Cousin Cooter?
If
you want to do it.
He wants to come out, and I just think that I don't want to. Cousin, no! Oh, that's right, baby! It don't matter if there ain't no games. You can't hold Cousin Cooter down. It's time for the most root to football saving this shit of the It's in the gun, baby. I don't know when he's finally. I don't know when he's finally gonna get out of here, CH. But I only have so much control. I mean, this guy's a loose fucking cannon, man. I don't know what you want.
I got to tell you. So, like most people, I'm sure I listened back to the show. I listened to the show, the next day or the next couple of days.
I'm sorry.
This week, we had the snowstorm coming on Saturday. So I, along with the rest of the entire state, went to the grocery store on Friday. And I'm walking around with my earbuds on when we get to Cousin Cooter or Skeeter, whichever one it was. I don't remember who it was. And I'm laughing my ass off in the middle of the grocery store. And people are staring at me like, what's this guy's problem? Every fucking week, you kill me with that.
Every single week.
Well, I'm glad you guys enjoy it. I mean, as far as, and everybody's already kind of done the recap, but, great games again. I think the major takeaway for me, and Dave's got the glasses on for our YouTube viewers. He's rocking the Joe Burrow shades.
Can't stop wearing them.
Joe Burrow, man. How do you not like Joe Burrow? Like I think we'll start with you, Dave, because you're a Steelers fan through and through. This is a division rival for you. You ain't never going to be wearing no Baltimore Ravens shit. There ain't no way you're going to be wearing that. But Joe Burrow is infectious enough that a Bengals hat's come out. The glasses have come out. I mean, is Joe Burrow, knock on wood, is he the next big thing? Or is he already the next big thing?
I love Joe Burrow.
He's so likable.
The guy...
The fucking fur coats, the cigars.
He just when you got a young guy that comes up and tells you, I'm good. Let's go. Give me the ball. I played in Alabama. I played in the biggest bowl game. They tried to send Oklahoma at me. It didn't work. Got Alabama. I'm fine. Been in these games. What are you going to come? I'm going to go to Tennessee. I'm going to be nervous. The Raiders are coming here. Stop. He's Joe Cool, and it's fun to see. I love it. Listen, Peralt said it today because we got to talk about that other guy. I ain't saying his name yet till the end of the show, but everybody knows what we're talking about. But he said he's the next one of him. That New England guy that went to Tampa, retired in Florida. Apparently, maybe he's coming back. Anyhow, Burrow it's fun. It's absolutely fun. And plus, I mean, when you bet on him a couple times in a row and they get there, you kind of get on board with it even more. But you could see that team believes in him. Like his knee was shredded watching somebody come back. I mean, he was crying. It looked like that might have been career ending. He's in the Super Bowl in 12 days. It's a fun story, dude. Like, and you played football. You know what it's like when you got a guy that you believe in. Can't stop it. It's awesome.
100%. I completely agree with you when you have that guy who his kind of demeanor just permeates through that locker room, because this is arguably the worst offensive line that has ever made it to a Super Bowl. You watch those games, dude, these guys aren't freaking rec league players. Like I'll use them on my flag football team. Don't get me wrong. But when they're going up against Aaron Donald and even just lower level pass rushers, forget about it, man. So I won't say his name either, but I think everybody's always looking for the next blank, not cashing your over props or under props just yet. Everybody's looking for that next dude. CH, I mean, if Peralt's saying it, you got it. Burrow has a little bit of 12 in him. And just by his killer instinct, he's got a little bit of 12 in him.
I think he does have a little bit of 12 in him. There's a guy that wears 15. It's a little bit south of Cincinnati that everybody said was going to be the next one. And what's he done now? He's won one in his first 5 years, right?
Yep.
That guy in New England won 3 in his first 5 years. So I don't know that there's going to be another one, but Joe Burrow, for being 2 seasons in, losing, what did he lose? The last 4 or 5 games last year, shredded his knee. I remember a quarterback that lost the whole season to a knee injury and came back the next year stronger than ever. So there's a little bit of him in Joe. Yeah, I would say that. And he's fun to watch. The only problem, you know what? The only problem I had, though, was when they asked him about the chain he was wearing. And they said, "Are those real diamonds?" And his answer was, "I make a lot of money. They better be real diamonds." I don't know about that comment. That was a little Ricky Henderson-ish. I'm not quite sure about that.
I know. Like, seriously, I thought the same thing when I heard it. I'm like, Joe, you should have just said, "What do you think?" And just let it go,
that would be a Joe Cool answer. But no, anytime you have a picture of him just chilling back, like in a Barca lounger with a cigar, dude, it's Tony Montana-esque. Like I just, as you can tell, there's a man crush that's forming. So what was once a number 11 man crush is changing pretty damn quickly.
Is he going to be the brunette Jesus?
Yeah, he could be. He could be. If he keeps winning me money, he definitely could be. Now, before we get into the actual game here, the Super Bowl game, we're not going to, break it down. We'll do that on next week's show. We might even have a little special, a little special something for you to stay tuned for. We'll keep you posted on the social medias. Check us out there at Cash and Sid Show. But, I think that. We'll at least say 4.5 is the line, and it's opened at 3.5. Everybody started coming on the Rams, so the Rams now up to 4.5-point favorites. All the bad guys doing what they do every single year: just bet the under, bet the under, bet the under. Get your bets in now, your props in. If you can get second half to be the higher scoring half, you know how that goes. That's what, it's just one of those formulaic plays that happen every single year. Now, I already found myself on Monday with prop availability coming out almost instantaneously. I already probably have like 15 bets on the Super Bowl.
Are you serious?
and I wanted to get the numbers
with you.
That's the question that I was going to ask, because in Vegas, Dave, the props don't even come out for Thursday. It's a whole event. You're going to be out there kissing babies, shaking hands. I believe at the Westgate, correct? Is where the big reveal happens. Do you guys get into the props, and when do you start getting into the props is really the question. I know CH has a little bit more availability where he's at. So you think it's fucking crazy that on Tuesday, a week and a half before the Super Bowl, I have probably about 15 different props in. That's insane to you.
That's nuts. I've been looking for one prop. I've probably checked 3 times a day. The one prop that we got from Tone last year when he was on the show, that was guaranteed. We knew it was going to play. We'd never probably see it again. And that I haven't seen it anywhere yet. So I'm not going to say what it is, because I hope they post it. But
they're listening, even though ain't nobody listening.
Ain't nobody listening, but I know they're listening. But the prop I'm talking about, Dave. I know you know. Newbie, I think you remember. I've been looking for it because I want to hammer the shit out of that, and I haven't seen it anywhere yet. But yes, you're crazy. You're 10 days, more than 10 days away from the game. What you could blow that money elsewhere in the time before the Super Bowl.
And that's what I'm afraid of. I want to have money by the time the Super Bowl rolls around. I have I targeted some of those same props that I was looking at. I got Joe Mixon over longest reception. It was like 13.5, longest rush 13.5. So I have a lot of Joe Mixon props tied up early. And that's when I kind of took a step back and was like, as Dave was talking, have a portfolio. Joe Mixon goes down on the first carry of the game. I'm fucked diddly poo. You know what I mean? So that's why I started grabbing some other stuff, looking at McPherson, because that's getting hammered everywhere that you go. I mean, you're going to have to, if you want over 1.5 on McPherson, you're laying minus 140. As far as the game goes, people like the under. People are already betting the Rams. Dave, you do 1,000 different shows. I think today alone you did 8 different shows. So what's the early talk? Is this now the Rams can't lose? Why are the Bengals even here? Or what are you hearing, and what have people been throwing your way on the different shows?
I'm shocked at how much it's been unanimous, not so much on the side, because a lot of people that we do the shows with are like, oh, we're just waiting for the number to go up and we're going to take Burrow. It makes perfect sense. The total is all under. Like, there's no shot of this game going over. The book set it too high at 50 or 51, whatever it opened, and it's down to 49, 48 and a half already. I like the under, but I mean, it's still 12 days away. The other thing is setting Cooper Kupp's numbers. Like, how in the hell? I'm so thankful to be doing what I'm doing now. But to my brethren that are setting odds and numbers and things like that, and the books that have already come out, setting the Cooper Kupp numbers are impossible, because you can't set it high enough to get any bets under. And then once you do, it goes over anyway. Receptions over, yardage over. The only thing it didn't cash last week was longest reception over, and it got by a yard or a half a yard, depending on its, where it's at. So the props have, someone asked me this question, handle, side and total money line versus prop handle on the Super Bowl. What does it become? And when I started doing this years ago, it was 10%. Maybe it grew up to like 15 or 20. It's 50-50 now. Some books will do more on the prop handle than on the game handle, which is crazy to say, but it's become the story. And it's really interesting. I do think you're fucking crazy having that many bets already right now. I really do, but I get it. The first year I came to Vegas for the Super Bowl was when the Steelers lost to the Chargers and Stan Humphries beat them in the AFC Championship. Steelers were 10-point favorites and lost. I already booked the trip, so I came out and I saw the prop sheet for the first time in person. I went and I made that poor bastard write me 26 tickets at $20 a piece, and I didn't have one game number. I didn't know what I was doing. He was so aggravated with me, but I just kept flipping through this thing. And I'm like, oh, I'll take this. He's like, you want over or under? By the end, I thought he was going to like punch me. And I was like, well, that was fun. And I had so much fun watching the game and checking those than I did the game, because it was San Francisco was, I believe, let me see, I got all the point spreads up here. I think they were 18. I think it closed 18. 49ers minus 18 and a half, 53 and a half. Favorite and over. It was a dream game, 49-28. Every prop went over. Jerry Rice scored. Everybody scored. Everybody on the Niners scored. Steve Young even scored. So you can get into one of those. This game has that potential, Noobs. This game has that potential to be a prop paradise for people. So I don't blame you for getting in. I just think you may be a little early. But
well, I think, and here's the reason, and I think you both could maybe have thoughts on it. The reason why I wanted to get in so early is because all of the bets that I have put in right as I as early as I could were bets that I like the over on, because everybody wants to bet over. You know what I mean? Other than betting on this total, everyone who's taken public props are going to keep pressing the over on these buttons or over on these props. And they get so fucking price gouged that by the time you get to them, if you are late to it, if you like an over, you're laying 170 and the other side's plus 110. You know what I mean? So that's why if it was overs, I agree that, okay, maybe you start hitting them a little bit earlier. If you like unders, wait and hit them, other than when you're talking the game total. I don't know if either of you have any thoughts on that, and just for full transparency as well. I'll even let you guys know, and you can let me know what you think about him. I went over Odell Beckham Jr. receptions 5.5. Reason being, if Higbee can't play, you saw that last week, Odell Beckham kind of filled that check down role. So you know what I mean? I think that would ratchet up even a little bit more. It was just field goal McPherson props over for McPherson. I got my teasers in early. So before the line got crazy, I did the non-wongable bullshit. and I went through 0. So I have the Rams plus 2.5, and I have under at like 54, something like that.
Okay.
So that's the way that I was attacking it. And as you know, I'm breaking it down. I'm like, maybe I should have waited, see what the market said a little bit. But we made our bed now, Dave. We must lie in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. It's okay.
I think the only thing that scares me about going, and I'm still a week away from even really thinking about these bets, but the only thing that scares me about hitting all these overs on all these props is the game going under. Lower scoring game, that means the props are going to be lower in theory.
Yeah.
Right? The yardage will be lower if it's a lower scoring game. The number of receptions will be lower if it's a lower scoring game because they're probably running the ball. So makes me want to wait and see how some things play out over the next week or so before I make any bets.
Now, last thing here in the gun, guys, and then we can start rolling on here. If you had to bet the game today, we're not grading these. We're not, I just want to hear what you guys think, and listeners, let us know as well at Cash Consid Show. A week early, if you had to bet it today, the line 4.5 side, which way would you guys go? Because I already know which way that I'm going, and it's probably opposite everyone else. So, CH, what are you thinking? If you had to bet it today, 4.5, what would your pick be in this game?
The thing that worries me the most is Aaron Donald against this offensive line.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be in Burrow's back pocket all day long, I think. And that could make it a very ugly game. That said, I haven't seen anybody make halftime adjustments better since Bill Parcells. I mean, Parcells used to be a master at coming out of the locker room, a completely different team in the second half. And I think the Bengals do that. They're going to have to be prepared. They're going to probably do something similar to, maybe what the Patriots did, putting the sixth offensive lineman in as a, eligible tight end, maybe max protect. But if I had to go today, I'm laying the points.
Dave, you're wearing the Rams lid. If you had to bet it on a Tuesday before, you lay in 4.5. It's horrible closing line value. That can's going to be getting on you. You're laying the chalk?
I know. I am as of right now. And I don't want to. I want Cincinnati to win. I think it would just be such a fun story and set the tone for a lot of things. But the Stafford narrative is cool too, right? Like Matthew Stafford's earned this. He's in a great spot. He's on a really good team, and McVay's a great coach. It's going to be a battle, man. But I think I'm picking a better defense right now. I've been doing that kind of consistently. The games have been kind of playing out that way. I still think San Francisco had the best defense. They just couldn't get one more score. That could happen in the Super Bowl as of right now. The Rams, but it doesn't feel good at all.
You guys know what I have to do. I got to be the contractor.
Yeah.
And I lost a lot of money this season overthinking just blindly playing on Joe Burrow as a dog. You know what I mean? Like, I should have done it the first 2 rounds. I didn't do it, and I didn't bet against him, but I missed out. I would have bet on a money line. I would have rolled with a money line when they were one of the 4 teams left. Instead of taking them at like 750 or 7.5 to 1, I ended up just taking Joe Burrow Super Bowl MVP, and now I hedged it back with Matt Stafford MVP because that's one way to bet it. I got it at 135 plus the 110. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that ends up coming through for me. But if I had to bet it today, I would bet the Bengals, but I might not even have a side bet in this game, to be honest with you, with all the prop availability. And from hearing you guys talk, last thing I have in the gun before we go to Carl's Corner. And yes, we know we have a retirement to talk about. You got to stick around for that. I have a feeling there's going to be some tie-ins and some take-a-minutes about the number 12 retirement that took like fucking week that felt like a month. But we'll cross all those bridges when we come to it. I think in the conversation that we just had there, a way to attack it for those same game parlay bettors could be one of the options you can take, like 2 or more sacks, 1 or more sacks. Tie that into one of your same game parlays with the LA Rams over, 2 or more sacks, something like that.
Yep.
I mean, that should be at least something that spices up that parlay a little bit. That's probably going to get home,
You can do all kinds of stuff now. Like,
it's
all
crazy.
Crazies. I just tweeted the other day that crazy parlay. Some guy predicted the final score of both games on Sunday. $20 won him $570,000. It parlayed out. It was the right odds. It was 200 and something to 1 and 100 and something to 1. Parlayed together, picked the exact final score of both teams. I don't know if he actually took the money or he took the cash out and let it ride, but that was a $20 free bet that turned into $570,000. So you could definitely find same game parlay stuff, all kinds of stuff. And we'll start to really do it on the Twitter. We'll go back and forth. We'll post some polls. We'll do some things where we'll I'm sure to discuss it. Before we get out of, Cousin Cooter's score, you even talking about the Pro Bowl? Seriously, does the Cooter even watch this thing? Because it used to be must-watch television. I'll never forget when Dan Marino was wired up and I heard the stuff on the sideline. Couldn't wait to watch it. It was still competitive. Now I can't even watch this. It's in Vegas this week. Like, newbie, is Carl Christ? Cousin Cooter, anybody care? You're a football guy.
Well, the thing is, Cousin Cooter doesn't have his own TV, so he has to go elsewhere to watch the games. I don't know if he's fueling up the truck to go somewhere to watch the Pro Bowl. If you have to leave to go and view it, you ain't doing it. If there's nothing else on, I would rather watch any of those shows that I gave him my Take a Minute last week than spend some time watching the Pro Bowl. I don't know. CH, we were talking about our unanimous picks, and we could potentially get to 500. Do we just pick AFC, NFC, make it a unanimous, and try and go 500 for the year? Do our last little swingers chance? I don't even know if there's a line on the game.
I was just trying to find a line because we do have to do that. We have to make a pick. We have to, and I can't. All that's on here is Super Bowl picks, so I can't see anything. But we should make up a line, pick a side, and go with it so that we can get back to 500.
I don't even know how you would decide who you pick in the pro. You just flip a coin, right? We should go back to CH's coin, and let's flip the coin and decide what side we're going to be playing on. I guess you think about the two teams that are in it.
It's pick 'em, boys. We're making the number. We're booking the bet. It's AFC, NFC is pick 'em right now. Who do you want?
I'm trying to think what players are in.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
He's actually thinking about this.
My early lean is gonna be NFC. I don't know what you guys think. That's my early lean. CH.
Well, you're an NFC guy. We're AFC guys.
Right.
Override me.
I got Matt. I got Max gonna be there. Max going to the Pro Bowl. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me either way. And you know what? I won't even know who won until we talk about it next week, probably.
Dave, we wouldn't even be here if it weren't for you. What is our official cash considerations, Pro Bowl, Super Goat whale play, lock of the month, bet your mortgage on it? There's no way it can lose. Can't lose parlay. Are we going AFC or NFC? Because I have no fucking clue.
I have no clue either, but like the boys on
let's just set up a poll on Twitter.
Coin. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. By Friday, we'll have an idea what the line is, who you got. I'll tweet it. I will tag you.
Ride with the listeners.
Remind me between the two of you, send me a text and people tweet at us. Where's the poll for the Twitter for the AFC NFC to get us to the 500 mark. Great idea. Perfect. Good job, people. cashconsid@gmail.com. Email CH and then he'll remind me as well.
And right there is how the sausage is made, Dave. Yeah, that's how we do it, baby.
You gonna play the music on the way out, or what are you gonna do here?
We're going to Carl's Corner. I guess we're betting the Pro Bowl now, boys. That's the Cash Consideration Special, and it's time to talk a little movie magic with your host, Carl Hascall.
So before we get into Carl's Corner, Dave, I want to ask you, are you going to go down to any of the festivities, Pro Bowl, NHL All-Star Game, any of that stuff? You plan on heading down there at all?
100%. I'm going to the NHL All-Star Game festivities, something like that. Apparently they're doing the shooting the targets things on the Bellagio water or something. I just found that out today. I did not know that. but I am going to try to go. I went in 1990 to the All-Star game when it was in Pittsburgh, and I went to the night before to the skills competition, and I went not once but twice to the fan experience, and it was great then. Now I get to take the kids. We're going to take a picture with all the trophies. I'm going to shoot on a goalie. I'm going to do everything that I could possibly do. I'm fucking doing. And I proposed it last night to everybody. You know these people. They were like, what night? What are we going to do? How long are we going to stay? I said, you know what? I'm going on Friday. I don't give a shit if you come or not. I'm going myself if I have to, and I'm going to have fun. So I think you guys will too. You'll be sorry that you didn't come. But yes, I'm going to the All-Star game shit on Friday. I ain't going to the Pro Bowl. I got no interest in the Pro Bowl. None of them.
I don't think there'll be anybody there.
Yeah.
Except our Max Goat whale play, of course.
Of course. That's how we got to be.
The crowd's going to look like it's a Jaguars game or something. Anyway, moving on. So for this week in Carl's Corner, I don't know if you guys saw Peyton Manning, and I was never a big Peyton Manning fan, but now that he's retired, I can like him because he doesn't play against me, in the championship game every year. I don't know if you saw Peyton Manning on Saturday Night Live this week, but it was pretty good. He was on Weekend Update. They asked him for a review of what he thought of the games, and he went off about some sitcom or something for an hour and a half. I've never heard of, somebody in Paris or something, but it was pretty entertaining, and it got me thinking, who have you guys enjoyed seeing athletes making cameos in movies or TV shows? Who are your favorites? And I'm going to tell you right now, I have a list of 15.
Well, I'll be fast.
So I'm going to go to you guys first, and I'll cross off the ones as we go here that I think you guys are going to cover. So Dave, what do you got? I know one of yours, but what are your favorite athletes turned actors?
So, I mean, I just went with movies. I couldn't really think of too many TV shows where they were in, and I should have probably used more TV shows, but I wrote a quick list. I mean, Hulk Hogan as Thunder Lips in Rocky couldn't have been better. I mean, that was just amazing. I remember being in the movies thinking, oh my God, he's going to kill Rocky. And when I watch it back later, it was just absolute genius. Andre the Giant in Princess Bride. Are you kidding me? I mean, amazing. That was good. I figured that'll be on a lot of people's lists. What one probably won't be on anybody's list is Terry Bradshaw in Cannonball Run. Amazing movie back in the day. If you haven't watched it, he was hilarious. Driving across the country. There was Burt Reynolds, Dom DeLuise, Sally Field. I mean, there were so many people in it. And, Terry Bradshaw was my quarterback. So him being in it, that was cool. Pete Vukovich, I believe, was in Major League. He was the first baseman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was amazing in that movie. Obviously, Major League was so good. But of all those, the one that, I just can't really ever forget, it was my only hometown basketball team ever. Dr. J was Moses Guthrie in The Fish that saved Pittsburgh. We're going to get a new drop song in there. It's in The Fish. Haven't you heard? It's so good. We're going to get it in the board. The Fish that saved Pittsburgh. Dr. J, Sixers love started way back when, because he was a real basketball player for the Sixers, but he took the Pittsburgh Pisces to the championship over that Los Angeles team that they wouldn't call the Lakers because they were going to get in trouble with the copyrights. But it was the Lakers. It was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bob McAdoo, and all those guys. That was my guy, Moses Guthrie.
So I knew that one was going to be the last one on your list. Of course, that was a given, right? And of those that you just named, I have 3.5 of those, and I'll explain the half in a minute.
Excellent.
But Newbie, I know one of them you texted to me earlier in the week. I'm kind of curious. A few years younger than us. I'm curious what your list is going to look like.
Well, I think the headliner is Andre Giant in The Princess Bride. Contrary to popular belief, since I called it The Princess Diaries on a previous show, I actually have seen The Princess Bride, and anybody want a peanut with Andre the Giant? Oh, it's so good. That one I think is if we're talking Mount Rushmore. I know Blewett loves the Mount Rushmores. If we're talking Mount Rushmore. That one's got to be on there. I won't say his name either because we're holding it off, but anyone who has seen Ted 2, there's a quarterback who played in 2 separate places, most of his career in New England, a decent portion of it, 2 years, and in Tampa Bay. There's this scene where in Ted 2, Mark Wahlberg and his little teddy bear, they're trying to there's no way to say this. So earmuffs, kids, if you're listening in, they're trying to find sperm.
Nate, tune it out, Nate.
They need to find need to find a swimmer donor. Yeah, exactly that. And they think, why not go to the greatest quarterback of all time's house to do this? So they break in. And it's while this quarterback is sleeping, they like peel back the covers and it's like gold. It's like, boom. And it's just fucking hilarious. And for what it's worth, the dude plays it perfectly too. He like wakes up. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? What's going on here? It's one of the funniest scenes in a pretty shitty movie. Ted 2, the greatest quarterback of all time in that. Pretty damn good one. Another movie people probably haven't seen, it's called Basketball. It's from the creators of South Park. It is laugh out loud hilarious. Reggie Jackson shows up because one of the guys in the movie, when they're a kid, they catch his third home run in that game. That
77.
Yeah. So he's the one who catches the ball and he keeps it. And later in the movie, Reggie Jackson, he's just like really proud of what they've done. He has no clue the kid had the ball. He's like, hey, man, I just wanted to say. And he turns around. He's like, I don't have your fucking ball. And he's just like so shook. And Reggie Jackson's like, I just want to say good game. Good luck next year. Reggie Jackson, priceless playing that in Basketball. And the last one for me is in The Waterboy. Lawrence Taylor in The Waterboy. It's a real short cameo. And I only went with cameos like, yes, Michael Jordan, Space Jam, all that, yada, yada, yada. I mainly went with cameos. Lawrence Taylor, he's there and he's like talking to a football camp and he brings Bobby Boucher. And Bobby Boucher is like, Mom said I just try and tackle the guy. And then that's what I do. And then right after he's done talking, all the kids are deadpan. And Lawrence Taylor just goes, which brings me to my next point. Kids, don't smoke crack. And all the kids are just like nodding their head. It's a terrific scene. So Lawrence Taylor, Andre Giant, Reggie Jackson, and number 12. Those are my favorite cameos. CH, wrap it up for us.
Oh, that was a great. So I'm going to blow through my list here real quick. So first of all, I do have to say that I did reach out for help on this because my friend Dave, Dave, we've talked about Dave a few times. The guy that looks like Jaws. Yeah, exactly. He goes by Weeksy, and Weeksy has seen more movies than Siskel and Ebert combined. Wow. So I knew I had a couple of these in my head, but I reached out to him and my phone blew up he must have sent me 50 texts. Really? So some of these are mine, but a couple of them are his as well. So number 15, starting at the bottom of the list, Dave, you just hit it. Hulk Hogan as Thunder Lips. Fantastic. Very scary. Number 14, O.J. Simpson and the Naked Gun.
Pretty good.
Underrated. Very underrated. And speaking of the Naked Gun, Newbie just talked about him. Reggie Jackson. Yep. I must kill the queen. I must kill the queen.
That's right.
Reggie Jackson. One that nobody's going to remember, but I had to throw a Boston guy in there at number 12. Kevin McHale was on Cheers, an episode of Cheers. And they got into his head. I think it was Gary's Old Town Tavern was the competing bar. And they got into McHale's head and said something about how many bolts there were holding down the floor at the old parquet floor at the old Garden. And he was in the game and he was walking with his head down, counting all the bolts while the game was going on. I remember that one. One day that you mentioned Terry Bradshaw, except I've got him in a different movie. And maybe you will remember this. When he climbed bare-ass naked into the hot tub in the movie Failure to Launch. Come on. Terry Bradshaw. Was that awesome?
Hilarious.
It was hilarious. Unintentional comedy. Terry Bradshaw at 60-something years old, showing his ass, pasty white ass, climbing into the hot tub. Amazing. Now into the top 10. Joe Namath on the Brady Bunch. Come on. How many times did you see that episode, Dave? 300? Oh, at least.
Over.
Number 9, Mike Tyson in The Hangover.
Oh, yeah. Fucking rocks Zach Galifianakis.
Exactly.
That's a
great movie. That's a good one, too. He's got the face tattoo and everything. Yeah. That's a good one. Number 8, Dr. J as Moses Guthrie. We already covered that one. Yeah. Now I'm going to start throwing in some lines here and see if you guys can guess where I'm going with this. At number 7, I've come here to chew bubble gum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubble gum. Rowdy Roddy Piper in They Live at number 7. Number 6, I Ain't Got Time to Bleed.
I thought that was John Rambo.
No, that's Jesse the Body Ventura
Another wrestler. Yeah.
in Predator.
You're right.
Yep. You guys are letting me down with these. Number 5, Jim Brown in The Dirty Dozen. Great movie.
Man, I haven't seen that in such a long time. He was unbelievable.
Good one. One we already covered. Anybody want a peanut?
Nice. That's
ATG as number 4. Number 3, I can't give you a quote from this guy because the only thing he's remembered for in this movie is when he punched out the horse. Alex Karras as Mongo in Blazing Saddles.
Oh my
That's a good
God.
pull.
Oh my Lord.
Mongo.
And then the top 2. Anybody recognize this one? Hey, you guys!
Isn't that Sloth?
John Matuzak as Sloth.
I never knew
in
that
the
was him.
Goonies.
They did
John
some good
Matuzak,
prosthetics
yeah.
there.
Wow,
Yeah, great job. Well, did you think that was somebody's real face, Newbie?
I actually did, to be honest with you. I only saw it when I was a little kid. I was like, damn, that dude's fucked up.
Ugly.
And the last one, and I can't believe, Dave, I'm actually disappointed you didn't pull this one.
Why?
I'm out. Here's my favorite quote. I'm out there busting my buns every night. You tell your old man to drag Walton and Linear up and down the court for 48 minutes.
Oh.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as Roger Murdoch in Airplane is by far the number 1 in my book for the athlete acting in a movie or in some cases TV show. Kareem was the best when they're dragging him off and all of a sudden his uniform's coming off and you can see his basketball uniform underneath and everything. Great movie and great cameo.
Excellent.
Thanks, Weeksy.
There we go. That's some of the best cameos of all time. I'm sure we missed some. Chirp at us on Twitter at Cash Consig Show. Big thanks to our host, Carl Hascall. One more piece of business to take care of, and for that, we go to the Sportsbook Consigliere. Mr. Dave Sharapan, back to you.
All right, boys, moving along, keeping it moving. I love it. I listen every morning to the Steve Harvey radio show. I highly recommend if you can do it, do it. It's been just awesome between the music and the different things and stuff they talk about. So before we get to the Take a Minute segment, they play this Would You Rather every day, different things. And that's what the kids do all the time. Like we'll be sitting on the bench and, I'm going to get to that in a minute with the softball over the weekend. But I had to throw this one at you, and we're going to kind of incorporate this into the show. But I just wanted to mention that I got it. The idea from the Steve Harvey morning radio show. Would you rather? He said today, would you rather wash a window of a high rise and before anybody could say the next thing, he said B. He was like, I ain't going up there at all. But he said, so that was the option A, or B, run with the Bulls. And I was like, well, I already know what I would do, but I wanted to ask both of you because I thought that was a pretty good disparity, 2 different things. And CH, I'll go to you. You running or you hanging out trying to clean a window, 100 floors up?
Yeah, between my lungs and my legs, there's no fucking way I'm trying to outrun a bull. So, or a bunch of bulls, I should say, for that matter. And I'm all right with heights. You guys probably don't know this. I've actually skydived 3 times. So, so I'm all right with heights. So as long as they give me a parachute or something while I'm up there cleaning the windows, I'll do that.
All right.
Pretty badass by C. For me, Dave, I'm running with the Bulls, baby. I mean, I'm not like, I don't like heights. I don't think anybody is like, yeah, put me up there in the air. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like everyone is just instinctively like, yeah, a little sketchy. But dude, if you running with the Bulls would be incredible. The adrenaline, and then you get to do that whole fucking tomato fight thing they do afterwards if you live. But if you don't live, that's like the most badass story. Oh, what happened to Newbie? He died, man. He died? What happened? He was running with the Bulls. You go out like a badass. You know what I mean? Like he was killed by a bull in the streets. That's pretty badass. If that's how I can go, I'll go running with the Bulls, Dave.
It's pretty good. They got to Steve and he goes, even if I picked A, I couldn't even be washing your windows because I'd be holding on to that damn rope so tight because I ain't cleaning shit. So I'm running with the Bulls. He said, I'll run faster than other people. I ain't got to run faster than the Bulls. I just got to run faster than other people. And I was driving. I was laughing my ass off. I said, I'm going to mention this to the boys today. I'm running with the Bulls. You can't even – I almost shit my pants the last time I went up on the link in the circle thing here with the kids. I got about 3/4 of the way up, and it's all glass, the bottom. I'm good when I get up. It's the way up. If I see it on the way up, like you can put me up on 100th floor, and then I'll look over, and I'll be fine. But if you put me in a glass elevator or something like that going up, I'm done. And they can't have that. So no chance for me. So skydiving, CH. See, you learn something new about each other all the time on the show.
Never know.
Never would have guessed you'd have been a skydiver. You're a 3-time skydiver. Brother Doug did the skydiving thing. He said it, man, I'm changed my life. It felt so good. I'm going to do it sometime. Just going to wear a diaper when I do it because it's guaranteed. You bet the yes for that shit for sure. All right. We're here. We're at the end of the show. We call it Take a Minute, where everybody gets a rant. Everybody gets to talk about something. Whether, you want to talk about something good, something bad, something happened, whatever it is, it's your time. Newbie, we got to defer to the guy because his guy who somehow we've avoided all this time on the show.
That's impressive.
That's impressive. I've been trying every time I go to something, I'm like, don't say the name.
It's like a conscious effort.
Yeah. You have to stop it because we said it so many times. We said it how many shows in a row, and then somehow we fucking forgot.
53.
We broke the streak. How many?
53 goddamn shows we did it in a row, and then we forgot, but that's okay because we're gonna do it, and CH should be the guy to do it and talk about it because that's his guy. So you got to go first. You take a minute segment as the executive producer of the show, co-host of the show, cash considerations. He's at Newbie Talks on the Twitter. Your take a minute segment, sir, starts in 3, 2, 1. So you introduced me and gave Newbie's Twitter handle. So that was
on Twitter. He's gonna get me over 1,000 every time we give CH's handle. Just give my handle. We're gonna get me over 1,000.
That's it. What did I say? I thought I was doing Newbie first. I said Newbie's got to go first.
You did say I had to go first, right?
You want to go
Who's
first?
going?
Go first.
Who's going?
CH, I give the floor to you. Follow me on Twitter at
I
Newbie
should
Talks.
fucking retire right
At
now.
Newbie Talks.
What just happened?
At Newbie Talks.
This is Carl Hascall at Carl Hascall, Hascall. I got the shit spelled right. Who's going fucking first?
I guess I'm going first. Newbie's pointing over his shoulder. His cousin Skeeter over there. Is that who you're pointing at?
We'll defer to you, Carl.
All right.
Take it away.
All right, I'm going first. So, as a kid in 7th, 8th grade and then all through high school, I was thrilled and had the honor and privilege of watching Larry Bird play every single day. Well, maybe not every day, but every game he played, and it was something magical was going to happen. No matter if it was a throwaway game in Washington or it was game 7 of the finals, you knew something special was going to happen, and it was unbelievable to watch that. Never in my wildest dreams did I think that I'd be able to see that again and 10 times over what Larry did. We use this word GOAT, and it actually pisses me off because, we have enough acronyms. We can't say the greatest of all time because that means a whole hell of a lot more than GOAT. We are never going to see anybody else win 7 Super Bowls. Maybe a kicker will do it and get lucky because they play until they're 60 years old. We're never going to see a quarterback win 7. Let's be honest. It's going to be tough to win 3 or 4. Some of these guys are great. Aaron Rodgers won 1. Drew Brees won 1. To win 7 is unbelievable. I started writing down some of these records that he holds, and it's just mind-boggling. Can you imagine that if Aaron Rodgers played another 6 years and went 17-0 every year, he still wouldn't win as many games as Tom Brady?
Damn.
Is that mind-blowing? You can take Tom Brady's wins, subtract all of the losses from his wins, and he's still going to have the 4th most wins in history.
Wow.
He won 10 playoff games in a row. 10 in a row. This isn't baseball where they're playing 21 games a year in the playoffs. It was just unbelievable. It was an honor and a privilege to watch this guy. I actually have a Brady story that I'm not going to tell on the show, but I'll tell you guys after, which would be entertaining. But all I can say to this guy is thank you. What a thrill it was to be able to watch this ride for the last 22 years. Not really the last 2 years, but the 20 years before was unbelievable. So thank you, Tom Brady, for everything. You are the greatest of all time.
Well said, sir. Glad I got your name right. After you told me to get it right. But yeah, it's been wild. Crazy thing with breaking on Saturday. And then really him announcing it today on Tuesday, February 1st, the way he maybe wanted to originally. The ESPN kind of jumped the gun a little bit. Before I throw it to Newbie, at Newbie Talks, Dan Alexander, the other guy here on the show, the other co-host. CH, is there any chance in your mind that he plays again?
No.
He's done.
Well, I don't think Gisele's going to let him out of the house for the next couple of years until he absolutely can't play. He's done. He's not. I don't think he's one. He's not a Brett Favre type of guy that's going to come back and play that game. He's done.
I think the nail in the coffin for him was when Gisele was able to have that picture of him with his blood on his face. She said, "You're fucking done. I've been telling you for how many years, stop putting your body on the line. You gave these people enough. Enough is enough already, Tom." And now she had the picture of the blood on the face to say, look at this. This is what your kids are seeing on the screen. You're fucking out. Like Kenny Powers. I think that was all the ammo that she needed. I think that was the nail. I think if that didn't happen, he maybe mulls over the retirement a little bit longer, because that was the silver bullet that she had in the chamber. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you're right. Again. All right. Well, I wanted to see him go off one more time and, one more thing in the sun, and maybe even.
I think I've been seeing this thing on Twitter. I think this is what should happen. If he's going to play and continue playing, he has to go to the New York Jets, because that'll be the true test to see if he is actually human after all. If he can't resurrect the Jets, then maybe he cannot walk on water too. I've been seeing that around social media. I thought that was pretty damn funny.
It'd be crazy if he went. I said it to Peralta, because he asked me where would he go if he would play anywhere else, if he wanted to leave Tampa, because Tampa's a dumpster fire right now. I mean, like, everybody's leaving, everybody's done. They just get out of there. Zarian's going to retire, blah, 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 blah.
I hope so.
San Francisco would be an amazing return home, and him and Montana and the pictures and all this stuff. He ain't going to do it, though. He's done. Yeah. He's finished. Who's not finished? Newbie. It's your turn. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You take him in a segment on the Cash Considerations podcast. Dan Alexander, we call him at Newbie Talks on the Twitter. I got it right. You take him in a segment, starts in 3, 2. Can I clap? Like you clap?
Oh, it feels good.
Go.
That's for you, Josh, doing a great job on the video. Thanks for tuning in on the YouTube as well. So I'm glad that CH went first, because he laid it out there perfectly. I mean, I rip on him all the time. I always bring up, the drop pass in the Super Bowl and all that. But Tom Brady is, and I'll give a little cash for myself, Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time, the greatest NFL player of all time. Yes. And it's undeniable. And you can try and say, oh, well, he didn't quite have the arm strength of this person. He didn't quite have it doesn't matter. 7 Super Bowls in the hardest position in sports. That tells you everything you need to know. And what tells me everything you need to know about the state of the world today is the fact this dude didn't even get to go out on his own terms. Adam Schefter has to be the one. You're already the mouthpiece of the NFL, Adam. You don't have to scoop every single story. I know everybody wanted to be the first to say Tom Brady retired. It became more of a circus because everybody needs that information right away. Everybody needs the scoop. You think Adam Schefter's getting a fucking promotion because he scooped the Tom Brady news? Nope. But he still had to do it because that's what you ask for, people. I need the information. I need it now. This dude gave you everything. He laid it on out there on the field. Love him, hate him. He was Captain fucking America. And you can't even let him go out on his own terms. Like, people, take a step back. Yes, they're celebrities. Yes, they're athletes. They're human beings. And this guy gave you everything you could ever want as a football fan, even if you rooted against him. And we couldn't even let him be the one to break the news. He had to have his dad come out. He had to have, and that's not how it should be. I just think this whole situation, to end it for me, Dave, has just shown that the information overload has reached a point of no return. And it's sad, because we as just a society need everything at our fingertips every single second of every single day. And we have opened up Pandora's box. It ain't going back. That was the first thing that came out to me in this whole entire Brady retirement. But at the end of the day, RIP, or I guess not RIP, to the career, we can say, of the GOAT, the greatest of all time. I tip my cap to you, sir. I'm glad you gave me the best Super Bowl win of my life. And thank you for giving football fans everywhere everything they could ever want. That is my take a minute, Dave.
Excellent work. Yeah. Again, good stuff. Love the trolls, these other cities and stations that have been putting out these notes.
Yeah.
Like, congratulations
So
to
petty.
this guy that lost 2 Super Bowls to the Giants. Congratulations to this guy who dropped a pass in the Super Bowl.
But we all know.
Yeah,
We all know.
Everybody knows. But he does have 7, and when he holds up those fingers with all them rings, that's pretty damn cool. Definitely good to see. My Take a Minute segment starts right now. Obviously, I'm, not sad. I mean, it's one of those things at this point now, don't be sad that it's over. Just be glad that you enjoyed it. Like, right. Like, this is one of those things that in 20 years, I mean, we're going to talk about. How does somebody last 20 years in the NFL? 22 years in the NFL. 22 years. And he won 7 Super Bowls, lost 3. Incredible. And like, Matt said it today on the Bostonian versus the Book. It was his whole like grown up life from 21 to 43. He was just quarterback in the NFL, and different points of your life, you remember where you're at when he did this or when he did that. Pretty cool. Saturday, I was at the field watching my oldest, big consig Kylie, play her first collegiate softball game, not fall ball. This is the season. It started. And I'm getting a text, Brady retired. I'm like, really? Wow. Okay. And I kind of passed it off, Saturday news dump. This can't be real. And then it really started to come in. And I mentioned it to Kylie after her game. I'm like, hey, Tom Brady retired today. She's like, really? Wow. You remember when he was a rookie, don't you? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, you're old. Oh, okay. Thanks. I mean, just like that. Bam, right in the face. Just boom, just like that. But it was another one of those moments that I remember. I remember where I was when the Patriots came in as 10-point dogs and beat the Steelers. And then how many first games of the year it felt like Brady was a home favorite against the Steelers and won, and all those different things. And then I went and coached Saturday night and coached Sunday, and we played really well. But we went 1-4, 2-4 over the weekend. We got walked off 3 times in softball. We had a lead at the end 3 times and got walked off. It was so frustrating. I've been there so many times though, and I get it. But like the girls, I saw them grow right in front of my eyes, and how hard it is to win. You could play so well. You can play perfect. The coach can make all the right moves. Sometimes the other team just beats you. He always just beat you. Like it felt like it. So for the game to go the way it went, against the Rams was crazy to me, because I thought he was just going to win it. And it all came full circle. And we even talked about it after. I met a couple coaches, a girl named Angela and a girl named Remini, who were from, Angela went to the University of Iowa and played softball. Remini went to the University of Illinois and played softball. I had my Penn State hat on. So we all commiserated about Big Ten and all this other shit. It was awesome. And it all comes full circle. And, you know, I say it every week on the show. Nobody knows shit. Tom Brady, you knew some shit. That was really an impressive career. And thank you for being a part of our show every week, except 53 in a row. We'll probably talk about it. Maybe not next week. Maybe we'll break into streak and not talk about it, but we'll be back here next week to talk about all them Super Bowl props. Newbie's already got a grocery list, more than a dozen plays. We're going to be deep in it, boys. But again, the reminder, nobody knows shit. We'll talk to you guys next week. For the boys, he's up there. He's at Newbie Talks, the executive producer of the show, obviously the co-host. He's Carl Hascall, at Carl Hascall, the coordinating producer, social media manager, email guy. Email the show, cashconsidshow@gmail.com. Obviously, the other co-host. Myself, Dave Sharapan, the Sportsbook Consigliere at SportsBK Consig on the Twitter. Hit the subscribe button on the YouTube channel, Cash Considerations Podcast. Listen to the show. If you have an Apple device, leave us a review. Rate, review the show. We really appreciate it. We'll talk to you guys next week. Super Bowl. Talk to you later.